In the future, it is illegal for humans to go outside. Everyone is forced to move underground to live. This underground world, with thousands of levels, is called the silo. For hundreds of years, no one has known who built the silo, because they have lived here since birth. But everyone knows that the outside world has always been covered in toxic gas. Anyone who goes out will die without a doubt. So the administrators of the silo have made it clear that no one is allowed to discuss going outside. Anyone who breaks this rule will be sent directly to the surface. Even so, every once in a while, someone still tries to leave the silo, but without exception, they all die from the toxic gas outside. Jack, as the sheriff of the silo, has always obeyed the taboo against going outside. However, on this day, he suddenly changed his mind. He walked to a jail cell and locked himself inside. Then he threw away the key in his hand and turned to look at the screen on the wall. The screen was showing a live view of the outside world. At that moment, Jack stared at a corpse and fell into deep thought. Then he spoke.
Should have done it 3 years ago.
Just then, his colleague John happened to appear. When John learned that Jack wanted to go outside, he broke out in a cold sweat. He urged Jack not to do anything foolish, but Jack firmly said those words anyway.
I want to go out.
Knowing full well that going outside meant certain death, why would Jack still choose to do it? Because he seemed to have discovered the secret of the silo. 3 years earlier, Jack's wife, Allison, suddenly lost control in the cafeteria. She loudly told everyone that the scenes on the screen were fake. She said the sky outside was actually blue, the grass was green, the air was fresh, and there was no toxic gas at all. But no one believed what Allison said. They all thought she had gone crazy. At that moment, Jack rushed over and tried his best to calm her down, but the more he tried, the more emotional Allison became. To prove that she was right, Allison had no choice but to say those words.
I want to go out!
Jack's mind instantly went blank. He had no idea why his wife was acting this way, but as the sheriff, he had to uphold the law, so he personally arrested his wife. Meanwhile, the silo's law enforcement officers began preparing Allison to go outside. Before she exited, Jack came to the cell to say a final goodbye. Allison firmly believed that she would not die outside, because the images on the screen were fake, shown by the silo's leaders to deceive everyone.
If it's so wonderful outside, why would they not want us to go out?
She knew that without solid proof, her husband would never believe her, so she made an agreement with him. After she went outside, if the world was truly barren and full of toxic gas, she would not clean the camera lens. She would wave goodbye and accept the consequences of being wrong. But if the outside world was blue skies and white clouds, filled with life and beauty, then she would clean the camera lens and climb over the hill to uncover the truth. Soon, the officers dressed Allison in a protective suit. Without hesitation, she walked out of the silo. At the same time, everyone gathered in the cafeteria, staring at the big screen. They watched as Allison slowly stepped outside and looked around. Jack, from the screen in the jail cell, witnessed everything. Not long after, Allison walked up to the camera and began to wipe the lens. The crowd erupted in cheers. A relieved smile appeared on Allison's face. Jack could hardly believe what he was seeing. Then Allison began walking toward the hill, but after only a few steps, the thing Jack feared most happened. She suddenly collapsed to the ground and never stood up again. Her death planted doubt in Jack's heart, because she had cleaned the camera lens. So Jack voluntarily asked to go outside, hoping to uncover the truth. After putting on the suit, he stepped out of the silo without hesitation. Once again,